Hello, welcome to Applied Evidence-Based Medicine in Integrative Health and Medicine, PIHM 7442. This is Dr. Mikey Goldwire. This course is the second part of Evidence-Based Medicine course. It provides you knowledge and skills to search for and evaluate published integrated health medicine related information, including clinical trials in which you are expected to interpret, identify, and evaluate commonly used research designs and statistical tests and apply this to clinical integrated health medicine practice. This course is organized over the next part of your semester, and you'll see that during this week, week 11, we will be looking at sources of integrated health information, specifically tertiary databases. For week 12, we will be looking at internet and other sources. Week 13-14 encompasses Thanksgiving, so it's actually 2-week period in which we will start our literature evaluations specific to RCTs, randomized control trials, and observational trials. And then the last week before the finals, we will be looking at literature evaluations, specifically looking at meta-analysis. And then during finals week, I will expect everyone to have an article evaluation or a topic presentation, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So more specifically, during week 11, this week, when we look at tertiary sources, I will expect you to access the medical library. Specifically, we're going to look at those databases which provide information about complementary and alternative medicines. Access Pharmacy, Dynamed, Micromedics, Natural Standard, and UpToDate. We will also be using the pharmacy databases in which you should have received how to access these through an email provided from the school. And these are Clinical Pharmacology, Facts and Comparisons, and Lexicomp. Your assignment for this week will be to answer 2 questions and participate in a discussion forum. For week 12, when we look at internet and other sources, I will expect you to access the internet, and we're going to take a look at the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, run by the National Institutes of Health. We're going to look at Allied and Complementary Medicine, AMED, Medline, Google Scholar, Cochrane, and TRIP database. You will answer 2 questions, one of which involves a completed literature search, and participate in a discussion forum. For weeks 13 and 14, we will start our literature evaluation, specifically looking at RCTs and observational trials, where I will expect you to critically analyze the literature using what you learned in the first part of this course. I will be having you review a RCT that was recently published in the Clinical Journal of Pain regarding the use of cabbage leaf wraps in the treatment of symptomatic OA of the knee. You will evaluate this article and participate in a discussion forum. For week 15, we're going to look at meta-analysis, and I will provide you with notes regarding what I expect you to get out of a meta-analysis. And this week, hopefully, is somewhat a review over that information you learned in the first part of this course. At this point, I'm planning to have you review an article published in the Cochrane database regarding acupuncture for the prevention of tension-type headaches. You will evaluate an article and participate in a discussion forum. For finals week, or the last week of your course, I plan to have you choose an article and or topic presentation to present. You will be reviewing some other classmates' topic presentations and our article and provide comments. We won't have a final exam in this part of the course. I need to finalize these details with regards to whether it will be a journal club or I'm hoping for a topic presentation, but I again have to get back with you on the details of how this will be done since this is a distance learning course. So this slide shows the grading in this part of the course. You will be answering questions. There's they're each worth 10 points. The literature search I put under a literature search, but you also have a question to answer with this literature search, and it's 10 points. The discussion forums, there's 4 of them, 1 each week. They're each worth 5 points. And the article evaluation, you have 2 of those. Those are each worth 10 points. Your final article critique and or presentation is worth 20 points of your final score, and I will also be offering 3 points of extra credit. So let's start with this week's lesson, and we're going to be looking at some tertiary sources that provide information on integrated health. And again, I would expect you to access the medical library and the pharmacy databases. So when you receive a question about a complementary and alternative medicine or any other type of integrated health topic, you need to remember that you're going to have to ask background questions in order to accurately answer the question asked. And I reviewed these extensively in your fundamentals class, and hopefully you have learned these if you didn't take the fundamentals class. But it depends on the type of question being asked. For example, if you have a question on administration or dosing, on efficacy, about an interaction, or about safety, you need to ask appropriate background questions to the requester in order to fully answer the question asked. So once you figured out what you're answering, you need to choose the correct database to use. So if you have a question that's specific to an herb, you can search Natural Standard or any of the drug databases. If you have a question that's specific to a disease and whether or not an alternative therapy can be used, and you're not given the name of the herb or alternative therapy, you can use Dynamed or UpToDate to answer those questions. One of the best databases we have to use to answer questions about complementary and alternative medicine is Natural Medicines, which is located on the university library site. Once you're at the library site, you need to choose Natural Medicines, and which is located on the left side near the bottom under the pharmacy link that says Natural Medicines. This database is organized into several categories. And if we look here under databases, we will see it has information about food, herbs and supplements, health and wellness, sports medicine, comparative effectiveness, manufacturers, commercial products, and fixed herbal combinations. Natural Medicines offers other unique features, such as under Tools, an interaction checker, nutrient depletion checker, effectiveness checker, an adverse effects checker, pregnancy and lactation checker, comparative charts, and a mechanism by which you can report to the MedWatch program that's run by the FDA. When I type in ginkgo, several documents are returned. The search result page features quick links to significant information. Underneath the quick links is a link to the professional monograph, followed by several links to commercial products. Whenever you're searching for an alternative therapy or an herb, you always want to choose the professional monograph. In the professional monograph, you will find all this information here that's under these quick links. And of course, this varies with the herb depending on how much published literature is available. But for example, we have quick links to scientific name, background, people use this for, so the indication, safety, effectiveness, dosing administration, adverse effects, toxicology, drug interactions, other herb and supplemental interactions, interactions with food, interactions with lab tests, interactions with diseases, the mechanism of action, pharmacokinetics, and classifications. Again, if we click on the professional monograph, you will see that all those quick link headers are listed on the left-hand side of the professional monograph. You will also notice that there are patient handouts available, and these are available in English, Spanish, and in French. The handouts give a general overview of the supplement. So what is it? Is it effective? What may it possibly be effective for? Is it ineffective? How does it work? And safety and interaction data. So again, that was the patient handout information. Let's take a look at the professional monograph. You can see here it starts off with a photo of the herb, and it also provides you with supplemental information, verifying products that contain ginkgo, verified by the USP, United States Pharmacopoeia, verified products, and then also Canadian licensed products containing ginkgo. You see the scientific name, the family, the background, potential indications, safety, and you'll notice throughout this document it's highly referenced. You can click on any of these reference numbers and you will get the citation. So for example, I clicked on 1514 and it provides me with the primary article that this information was taken from. Well, actually it does open up a separate window, so I can just click on my tab to send me back to the monograph. So one of the highlights of these monographs in natural medicines is the effectiveness section. And what I always tell my students is to look at this detailed evidence summary. So if we click on the detailed evidence summary, you're going to find a very large evidence table in which the authors in natural medicine summarize the primary literature, and it's organized by condition or disease state being treated. So here we see for ginkgo, its use in persons with age-related macular degeneration, AMD. And you can see here that the authors summarize 2 studies in which ginkgo was given to persons with AMD. They give you the author and the year, they give you the N, whether or not it's statistically significant, the quality of the study, the magnitude of the benefit, and if available, they give you the absolute risk reduction, number needed to treat, and any comments about the study itself. Hopefully you know that ginkgo is generally used for memory impairment in your elderly persons. And you can see that here in these studies that are summarizing age-related memory impairment. So again, this is a great feature in natural standards, this evidence effectiveness table. And then you can click on the discussion, which brings you to a summary of all those studies. And the authors summarize all the information and provide you with the rating. So it is very detailed and very beneficial when you are asked to look at whether or not an alternative therapy is effective in a certain condition. Let's go back and take a look after we had logged in and we searched for ginkgo. And I want to show you what the commercial monographs look like. So again, let's just pick one of the commercial monographs, and I'm just going to go down here and pick the VitaBase commercial product for ginkgo. So you'll notice that Natural Medicines provides this Natural Medicines brand evidence-based rating, an NM BER, so a number, and it's basically rating the product. This rating is comprised of safety, effectiveness, and product quality, and ranges from 1 the lowest to 10 as the highest. And it's designed to respond to the greatest concerns expressed about complementary and alternative therapies, those of safety, effectiveness, and quality. And these evidence rating numbers provide you with a very quick glance to see how the authors of Natural Medicines rate this product. And then additional information is available within the commercial product on effectiveness, safety, interactions, and adverse effects. And all you have to do is click on the View Details. So again, when first searching, I always recommend that you choose the professional product because it is most complete and it adds more information, generally for what we're looking for. But for a quick glance at a specific company's product, you can choose the commercial product. So natural medicine also has an advanced search feature. On the right-hand corner of every page, you can choose to do an advanced search right here if you wish to. And if you choose to advance search, you can limit your search to any of these specific products or to any of the classifications within those specific areas in natural medicines, like the food, herbs, and supplements, health and wellness, sports medicines, commercial products, medical conditions. The other thing I do want to show you is some other special features. So under tools, there are many special features here, and the first one is an interaction checker. So this is a great tool to use to see if an herb interacts with a medication. So for example, let's just type in valerian root. So if I just click the add button, it will automatically add it to the selected agents, and I don't necessarily have to collect any of the products that show up under the search matches. And then let's say we want to see if this interacts with Subutex. So again, you can just click the add button, and you see that this is a brand name for buprenorphine, and it tells you in the results summary that an interaction was found. And again, you would want to click on the view details for more information, but right off the bat, you can see that this is a moderate interaction. When we do click on view details, we get a little bit more information. You also get the references. Again, this site is highly referenced, taking you to the primary journal articles. So again, this is an excellent tool if you want to know whether your drug interacts with an herb. So another feature here is the effectiveness checker, and this is basically to see if the herb has been used to treat or prevent any certain condition. So for the effectiveness checker, you are going to input the name of a medical condition or disease. So for instance, let's put in lupus and see what herbal therapies have been used for lupus. And you can see the first one that comes up is flaxseed as possibly effective. Taking flaxseed orally seems to improve renal function in persons with lupus. So again, there is information. Here are your primary journal articles, and you can view more. It'll take you to that information within the monograph. So it brought me into the professional monograph for flaxseed. So you can also see here possibly ineffective is copper, and then several of them that are insufficient evidence to rate. So again, this is under tools, effectiveness checker. You're basically checking to see if the herb has been used to treat or prevent a certain disease state. There is also an adverse effects checker, and again, this is the same kind of thing. You're going to be looking up to see whether that herb causes that adverse event. We have a pregnancy and lactation checker, whether or not the herb is safe to use within pregnancy and lactation. So if I just click on acacia, you can see that there's insufficient information. And there's several comparative charts, and then there's a section where you can report a product to the MedWatch program, which is very similar to the FDA's MedWatch. So again, I would most definitely use natural medicines as my database of choice. Whenever I have a question about an herbal therapy, I would always go here first, and I would recommend that you do the same. Hello. Another resource you can use for complementary and alternative medicine information is clinical pharmacology. So again, you access clinical pharmacology through the link that was given to you in the email. So once you're in clinical pharmacology, you would just simply type in the name of the herb or therapy. And then I would like to say that clinical pharmacology has limited monographs on herbal products, but it does contain some of them. For example, I just typed in ginkgo, and you can see here under drug monographs, it does contain an all populations monograph, so this includes adults. If it had a pediatric one, it would have a P here. and I believe it's a green circle, but this is in all population, so this is most likely adult information. The second box here are the US products, and then the third box here are global drugs. So let's just click on the ginkgo monograph. And all of their monographs have the same headers. They're over here to the left, and there's a summary, indication, dosage, how supplied, description, administration, adverse reactions, contraindications, mechanisms of action, kinetics, pregnancy, interactions, and monitoring parameters. So I'm just going to thumb through it and just show you that it has various information. So again, for indications, you will need to expand on these pluses to get the most recent information. It is highly referenced again. Anything in a different color ink is a hyperlink. You can click on that to get more information. In this case, I would click on this number here to get the reference. Again, the primary journal article in which they took the information from. Another reminder about clinical pharmacology, you can jump to indication. I like clinical pharmacology for regular drug information because it has this dosage limits tab. So right off the bat, you can get the dosage limits. But it also gives you a dose adjustments and then off-label uses. Obviously, this is not FDA approved for certain indications, proven efficacy. So that's why it says off-label uses for this monograph. So we can see that for Alzheimer's or vascular dementia, oral ginkgo has been used, and it said that most trials use 120 to 160 milligrams per day in divided doses. And then it goes through other types of indications. This is peripheral vascular disease, intermittent claudication, vertigo, tinnitus. So again, if you only have clinical pharmacology at your site, you can certainly use it. Again, though, it's hit or miss. I tried to type in kratom, and nothing comes up because they don't have a monograph on this product. Another one, valerian. If you remember, we did look at valerian as a drug interaction with butorphanol in natural standards. So here I can type in valerian and I can go to interactions and I can see if there's any drug-drug interaction or drug-herb interaction listed. And you can see there are several listed because again, valerian suppresses the CNS and so do the partial opioids like butorphanol. So don't forget to try clinical pharmacology if that's all you have. Again, I just wanted to make you aware that you do have these options. So don't forget about using clinical pharmacology, another great source because it is highly referenced. Another source you can use for herbal therapies is Lexicomp and facts and comparisons. I brought them both up again. You can access these through the link that was sent to you in an email. So if I type in ginkgo, Natural Products Database is the information that is contained in Lexicomp and also facts. Lexicomp and facts are owned by the same persons now, Wooler's Clore, so they contain the same database. So I'm in Lexicomp again, and I'm just going to type on ginkgo, and you're going to see on the left-hand side I have my navigation tree or my menu, and I will get very useful information. Again, this source is also referenced. They have these little blue references after the information. Another great source to use if that's all you have available is Lexicomp and Facts and Comparisons. Again, I would go to natural medicines first, but Lexicomp and Facts have Natural Products Database, which is another very good source. So one thing I did like about Lexicomp and Facts in this is that they did have information from the FDA. So again, the natural product kratom, maybe if you've heard about this in the news, the FDA has issued a statement, and in the monographs for Lexicomp and Facts, you get that statement here. It says in 2017, the FDA noted that there's no approved uses for this product, advised against use because of significant safety risk. So I don't see this same type of warning in natural medicines. So because Lexicomp and Facts, again, often list FDA rulings for their drugs, that's why I think they have it here for their herbal products. But again, these are great sources to use to find out more information about some herbal products. And Bex is the same. If I want to look up valerian here, again, it brings me to Natural Products Database. And I basically have the same information in Facts as I do in Lexicomp. One more note about Lexicomp. I don't know if you noticed when I did type in kratom, you also get LexiTox. So you do get toxicology information if there is any available for the product. So here again for the kratom, it's going to bring you to LexiTox, which does have toxicology information, because this has been hitting the news in the last couple years. So again, Lexicomp and Facts are very good sources to use for any type of herbal information. Source you can use is Micromedics, and you get to Micromedics through the Health Science Library homepage. It's near the bottom under the pharmacy information. So again, I'm going to choose Micromedics, and of course I have to log in. And in Micromedics, they have a database that's called Alt Drug Dex. You're again not going to access Alt Drug Dex from the homepage. You're just going to type in the product name. Let's see if kratom comes up. So kratom does come up, but we'll notice here that it's under reproductive risk, and it's under plants. So here we're going to go it's under toxicology. So the Alt Drug Dex is not coming up for kratom. You can certainly get information here from the toxicology poison dex, and I use that quite a bit if needed. So let's just type in ginkgo. So again, if I typed in ginkgo, I am taken to a monograph, a quick answers, and I always recommend my students use the in-depth answers because we want to know information about it. And you can see the navigation here to the left. We have dosage forms, kinetics, cautions, clinical applications. One of the best places to look is place in therapy to see where it fits into therapy. And it gives you, again, a summary of the scientific evidence. This product is also referenced. Although I do use the other sources, especially natural medicines, more than I use Micromedics. But if all you have is Micromedics, I certainly would look into Micromedics for information about herbs and other therapies. Another database you can use is Access Pharmacy, which is again on the library homepage. At the bottom, under Pharmacy, you can choose Access Pharmacy. Now, Access Pharmacy does have quite a bit of information, and I like to use the bottom where it has a site map. So you can see here at the bottom these blue links, and I'm going to actually choose the Quick Reference Herbs and Supplements. So here I have a whole listing of herbs and supplements, and you can see they have other therapies like acupressure in here. And since we've been looking at kratom, let's see if they have anything on kratom. Again, you can search it, or you can just browse through the listing. So here we see kratom listed. Let's pull up kratom. So again, Access Pharmacy has monographs, and it will also list information about these herbs. So as one thing off the bat, we notice with Access Pharmacy is these monographs are not referenced as well. We don't know where they took the information from for like kratom been associated with nausea, vomiting, causing loss of appetite, and intrahepatic cholestasis. So I would only come here after I've looked in natural medicines and lexicon and facts and micromedics, and I didn't find anything. I would then come over here to Access Pharmacy to see if they had a monograph on the herb or supplement that I was looking for. So again, these are wanted to make you aware of all databases that you have access to, and Access Pharmacy again has information on herbs and supplements. Again, I got to this by looking at the site map at the bottom, and it's one of these blue links, and I just clicked on that link. So another resource the library has access to is Dynamed. And Dynamed is up here near the top under Clinical Point of Care Tools. And we just click on Dynamed. And I know I had searched kratom, but kratom does not appear in this database because it's not used to treat any therapeutic condition. But if we put in ginkgo, what will come up are those conditions in which ginkgo has been used. So you see the first one is Alzheimer's, dementia, and ginkgo is mentioned under treatment, medications, herbal medicine, ginkgo. And you can click on that link to find more specific information about the use of ginkgo in Alzheimer's disease. And again, Dynamed's highly referenced. I really do enjoy this site, especially when I'm asked to find a drug of choice or I need to research what therapies are used to treat a condition. So you also notice back at the search page when I put in ginkgo that under mild cognitive impairment, treatment medications, and then comes up inconsistent evidence for the efficacy of ginkgo biloba in patients with cognitive impairment. So again, just to make you aware that you can certainly use Dynamed to search for therapies, and this is not just limited to herbs. We can put in acupuncture, and they have actually a monograph here for acupuncture and related therapies on chronic low back pain. And then just like the herbs, they have the conditions in which acupuncture has been used or in which there are clinical studies that had looked at the use of acupuncture in that condition. So you see there's several of them listed. So don't forget about your disease state databases. Dynamed, it is a great one. Another disease state database you can try is UpToDate, which again is listed under the library homepage under Clinical Point of Care Tools. UpToDate. And we're going to try the same terms again. So I search under kratom, and actually we do get something coming up, and it's medically supervised opioid withdrawal during treatment addiction. And we can see right away that kratom should not be used for opioid withdrawal. We can see another one coming up with overview of herbal medicines and dietary supplements, where it says consumption of kratom, an herb promoted for self-treatment of opioid withdrawal. Drugs, testing of drugs of abuse, and we can see that kratom comes up, which I don't know that I mentioned, but it's touted as being a natural analog for opioids. So again, you can click on the link to get more information. And I just wanted to make you aware that UpToDate and Dynamed are very good sources for alternative therapies. And again, just like we saw in Dynamed, UpToDate also lists other therapies besides just herbs. So you have acupuncture, and we do have a monograph on acupuncture. And it gives you the history, the basic theory, proposed mechanisms, and some clinical applications and evidence. We can also see acupressure, and you can see where acupressure has been used. It's been used for motion sickness. And then it's mentioned in complementary and alternative therapies for cancer, and complementary and alternative therapies for pediatrics. So again, you do have more in UpToDate and Dynamed than just herbs and traditional alternative therapies. Another monograph in UpToDate is homeopathy, and you can see here I have a monograph for homeopathy. So if you get questions about homeopathy, you can certainly come to UpToDate to read a little bit more about it. So UpToDate and Dynamed are both very good sources to look specifically at therapies if they're used in certain conditions. Also wanted to mention mobile apps. So the library gives you access to mobile apps. And I want to make sure you are familiar with this, that you can download some mobile apps and have access just by being a student here at the University of Colorado. So to find the mobile app guide, I would go to Guides, choose Pharmacy, and then under Pharmacy is actually under Orientation and Classes. So I know it's a little odd place to put it, but if you go under Orientation and Classes, Introductory to Library Resources, you see a mobile app guide. And this will bring you to a page on the library site that provides you with apps that you can get. Of course, you need to have the room on your cell phone or your device in order to download the apps. But I have a couple of them on my phone, and I use the Clinical Key one. I don't use that as much as I use the Dynamed. I do have Dynamed on my phone. I really enjoy Dynamed. And again, Dynamed does have drug information from Micromedics on it. You can also get Micromedics, and we'll be coming to that. Here we go. I don't like Micromedics as much because the password expires. And I was used to expiring at 3 months, but this does say it expires on an annual basis. So if that's on an annual basis, that's much better. But you'll notice Micromedics has 3 separate apps, one for the drugs, one for interactions, and one for IV compatibility. So just check it out and see if you like it. This one here they're showing is only drug interactions, but you can go to the App Store and you'll see that there's 3 separate apps for Micromedics. You can also get an app for the Natural Medicines Comprehensive Database, which is a very good app. I also have this on my phone. This does come in handy whenever you're asked questions about herbal therapies and supplements. And then lastly, I just want to mention UpToDate has an app. I don't have this on my phone right now. I do use Dynamed more, but you can certainly get UpToDate. And again, UpToDate does have some drug information in it also. So I wanted to make you aware of these mobile apps that you do have access to because you are a student here. Check them out. Try to download them on your phone and see which ones you like. If you have any questions about this, you can certainly email me. And you can always email your librarian also. So in conclusion, there are several databases for you to choose from to search for information regarding herbal therapies, supplements, and integrated health therapies such as acupuncture and acupressure, and also homeopathy. So don't forget that you do have access to these databases while you're in school, and hopefully you'll become a little bit more accustomed to using these when you do get these types of questions.